Meanwhile, Sri Lanka is trying to make progress in its efforts to try and decriminalise homosexuality. The Supreme Court in Sri Lanka has now given a green signal for the bill, and this was announced by the Speaker of the Parliament on Tuesday. The pro-homosexuality campaigners have hailed this move as nothing short of historic. A private member of Parliament presented a bill seeking to decriminalise homosexuality in Sri Lanka last month. Now, homosexuality is still a punishable offence, and it invites a prison sentence besides a penalty in Sri Lanka. The activists have been campaigning for several years to bring about a change in Sri Lanka's homosexuality law. The Supreme Court, after hearing petitions from both sides, ruled that the bill was not unconstitutional. However, neither the government nor the opposition have made any comments on whether they will go ahead and support the bill. The Speaker has informed the Parliament that the Supreme Court is of the opinion that the bill is not inconsistent with the Constitution. But there is still a long way to go to decriminalise homosexuality in Sri Lanka, and the next step is to try and gather the support of 225 members of Parliament to push the proposed legislation through the Parliament. And we earlier spoke with our correspondent Dasoni Atada, who joined us live from Colombo, and this is what she's had to say on this issue.
This is a landmark ruling coming from Sri Lanka's Supreme Court that has now said that there is no inconsistency with the Sri Lankan constitution that sort of prohibits from homosexuality from being legalized here or even decriminalized in the country. But now comes the interesting and the more tiresome part is to get 225 MPs of the Sri Lankan Parliament to really get on board and side with the Sri Lanka's judiciary in sort of allowing for this decriminalization to actually get that seal of approval. Now, keep in mind, this subject of homosexuality, especially in a country like Sri Lanka, has a lot of connotations to it, especially deriving from a lot of backlash and disapproval from religious leaders as well as historical and cultural traditions. So it will be interesting to see how these 225 MPs will sort of voice their support for a more modern approach to homosexuality here in Sri Lanka.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.